But as you said, you're the only African American.
The only African American student there. So it was weird. Like when I would come to class, I'd be the only one that walked. Like everybody walks in and dirty jeans and cowboy boots. I'm walking in Jordans. Like freshman year, I was walking in Jordans. I had on sweatpants, and everybody would look at me a little crazy. Like, is this really his major? Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
So you had one idea of what dressing for success in college would look like, and then you get there and everybody else is in your same major, has a whole different perspective.
A whole different perspective.
Yeah. A
whole different perspective. And it actually became a joke at some point because when one of my professors hooked me up with my first internship, it was about 30 minutes from here, distributing fertilizer and chemicals and seed, and just like basically we supply farmers with everything that they need for the year.
Yeah.
And at the end of the year, after they harvest and they make their profit, they pay us pretty much.
Yeah.
So I did that for about 2 years, but after the first year, it was funny because everybody in the class was like, "Oh, you finally got out your Jordans."
When you hear the term deaf culture, what are some of the things you think of?
There are people in this particular society who wants to see us exactly where we are. These are the facts. How do we know? 1967, Kerner Commission report. He said, what caused these riots? He said it was young children who started these riots, and what motivating them was a high self-esteem and an enhanced racial pride.
I remember a couple years ago when the Roe v. Wade thing had happened.
Starting to get videos in, people are emailing lifeoverdeafculture@gmail.com. Israel, put that on the screen for us.
But I think it's crazy when grown people are out in the streets calling in to work or whatever they're doing, they're literally crying.
What do you think of when you hear the phrase deaf culture? Now I want you to think about this. If you guys are coming across videos, shorts, even stuff like what Menelik was talking about earlier, if it's conversation worthy. According to Torah, we have a moral, a ceremonial, a dietary, and a law ruling our government system.
In hip-hop culture, whether it's rap or R&B, how do we degrade our women? How do we start degrading ourselves? How do we speak death onto each other?
These
right now,
moral codes have been broken. Death has been marketed to us, whether it's in music, whether it's in movies, whether it's in our upbringing, because generationally things have been passed down to us that may not be good for us.
We are the living souls, but all these other nations have projected this fear of us onto us, and we received it as a culture.
Is the culture that is normally spoken of when we talk about Black culture, when we talk about African American culture, and the themes that we are familiar with, actually deaf culture? When you hear the term deaf culture, what are some of the things you think of?
I wanted to put in my 2 cents on deaf culture. Music is a big part of culture. I used to be really big into music and DJ and try to give it a spin and produce it and everything.
I think this is going to be good for the Akeem. I also think it's going to be good for the younger Akeem, for the youth.
Now Mashiach walked this earth as word in the flesh, and the Pharisees and Sadducees, they were fearful of him. They were scared, so they projected it onto us. And one of my last points, everything I've said led up to, let the blood be on us and our children. That's what we said.
We are going to introduce the team, the people who are going to be helping us out with this podcast. First and foremost, it's going to be the right hand, Menelik Dwaid. Man, first of all, as we started talking about this whole project and dealing with, life over death culture or life versus death culture, give us, if you don't mind, what your initial thoughts were on the subject? You know, death culture versus life culture, what it symbolizes to you.
So I feel like it hit a little bit closer to home being born in the generation that I am. You know, like the whole concept of a YN being, you know, considered like the end thing for us, especially as young black men, you know. And I feel like that's parallel to death culture. You know what I'm saying? Like what's being pushed to us is somebody that brings death, somebody that, you know, kills people, a thug. This, you know, and it's just so promoted and marketed in our generation right now that it's like everybody that's my age and younger, you know, that's what they aspire to be like.
Right.
You know? And so I feel like that was when the idea of life over death culture came. That's why I clung to it so hard, because I know in y'all's generation y'all had it similar but a little bit different. You know,
the more things change, the more they remain the same.
Right.
Yeah.
Similar but pretty close. The same concept. You know, y'all had, you know, Death Row Records and all of them all promoting the same thing.
Excellent example. Yeah.
Pretty much just the same thing. You know, and so that idea of us coming and doing a podcast where we talk about reversing that. You know what I'm saying? Reversing that mindset, reversing that programming.
Right.
You know?
I like that.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Man, that's very succinct to the point, but I couldn't have put it no better. Tell the people who don't know you a little bit more about yourself. Like, what are you doing now? How old are you? Your status, marital status, because I think it's not just a throw out. I mean, that's important to the conversation because it's significant. It says something about who you are, how you think, how you operate, what you're doing in life, what your aspirations are, and you know, all that type of stuff.
I think it's very relevant to the, you know, to the topic and the title, you know, life over death culture. So I'm 22, and I'm married.
Yeah.
Got a beautiful wife. We just made 1 year together.
Yeah.
1 year married, 7 years together. So we've been talking for as long as I can remember.
Since high school.
Yeah, since high school. So
wow.
Since we turned 17 together, we've been talking ever since then.
Yeah. And you married at 22, and I don't want to interrupt your flow too much, but how many people your age do you find are married at that age?
Not many, and some of the ones that we do find that are married at this age is like an act of rebellion that they get married pretty young. You know what I'm saying? So it's they get married at this age to spite somebody.
Right.
But there's a few, you know, few in between, especially in my program. So like we were saying, what I do. So I'm a full-time student, full-time worker as well. And I'm an ag business major, agriculture business.
Okay.
And I'm the only African-American student in my program at the moment.
That's crazy.
Right. I'll be done in about a year. But in my program, you know, there's a bunch of other students my age, and a lot of them are married.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? So a lot of the country boys, you know, the country farmers, they all pretty much get married.
But as you said, you're the only African-American.
The only African-American student there. So it was weird, like when I would come to class, I'd be the only one that walked, like everybody walks in and, you know, dirty jeans and cowboy boots. I'm walking in Jordans. You know, like freshman year, I was walking in Jordans. I had on sweatpants and everybody would look at me a little crazy, like, is this really his major? Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
So you had one idea of what, you know, dressing for success in college would look like, and then you get there and everybody else is in your same major, has a whole different perspective.
Yeah, a whole different perspective. And it actually became a joke at some point, because when one of my professors hooked me up with my first internship, it was about 30 minutes from here, distributing fertilizer and chemicals and seed, and just like basically we supply farmers with everything that they need for the year.
Yeah.
And at the end of the year, after they harvest and they make their profit, they pay us pretty much.
Yeah.
So I did that for about 2 years, but after the first year, it was funny because everybody in the class was like, "Oh, you finally got out your Jordans."
That's funny.
But yeah.
So agricultural business major, you are in your 4th year of college. You've been married for a year, been in your relationship for 7 years.
Yeah.
They didn't make space for us. So when we stood in our truth, still they shut us out. But we didn't fold. We built something clean, a space that sees us. Our hands are steady and our work is honest. Everything we make has honor within it. And when we exchange, it means something. It's not just product, it's truth. We build across generations so the young learn the way. The elders speak and no one is left out. Everyone contributes and has action for one another. We complete the work and we rest at the appointed time. And when the house is still, we hold space for gratefulness. We place esteem in its proper place and begin again. We don't just build business, we build with purpose. This is Israel Exchange.
So what are your plans for after college as you see at this point?
So recently, as of this last year, we both have, our majors have kind of been tailored to fit each other.
Okay.
Because we know that in promoting life culture, that to succeed in this world and to succeed like financially, if we're already one, then the things that we do is probably going to have to be linked and connected. Like we'll have to work as one, out as well. And so as I'm going into farming, at first it was going to be a small scale, and then it switched to large scale agriculture, corn, wheat, and things like that. And her major was psychology.
Okay.
But as we found out that she got more of a love for animals than she do people sometimes, she switched to animal science and veterinary focus, and then wildlife conservation. And I went closer towards cattle.
Okay.
So what it seems like we're going to be doing is have a cattle farm, cattle farming. Yep. And that seems like the way.
That's a huge industry.
Yeah, huge industry.
It's a lot of ups and downs in that industry from what I understand. But exciting. Exciting. And the interesting thing about that I think too is, our people were agricultural people, biblically. And so that's really kind of going back to the essence of where we started as agricultural people, raising food, herding animals, being husbandmen by definition, as a trade. Tell me this, and that's a good transition, I believe. For people that don't know, how did you get into having a desire to want to be in agriculture, and where did that start at? Because I know, even though they may not know, that you also had a love for plants, you had a love for fish. How did you begin that, and tie it in for people that may not know with how you were raised?
Okay. To get to the point I am now, it took there was a lot of different branch offs. Like there was a lot of times where I figured, or I thought that I wanted to do one thing, and I switched and kept switching up. As I learned more, and my perspective of agriculture changed, my perspective of the work I want to do in the future, my retirement plan, everything, it all changed up.
Right.
Originally, I wanted to be an electrical engineer, and coming up, my mother, she was always into gardening, always doing gardening. We were building greenhouses, and she would garden, but it's very laborious work. And whenever she was out there, being the oldest son, I was out there.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Naturally, I was out there. I had to pull the hose and get everything, fill buckets, pull buckets,
build boxes,
things like that. And so after a while of doing it with her and actually, trying my hand at, actual gardening and planting seeds and growing things, and, husbandry, maintaining plants and things, it's when I realized I'm kind of good at this.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it was the process of, watching what you love, nurture, and cherish with your hands grow and prosper, and in turn give back to you. It actually, I didn't realize I was just good at it, but it got me, it hooked me. I love doing this as well. And so senior year of high school, I started a landscaping company and based out of Shreveport. And then I decided I wasn't going to college. I said, that's it. I'm not going to college.
Okay.
I said, I got a company here. I'm just keep on working here, doing landscaping, and eventually something may happen.
See, I don't know if I knew that part.
He knew that part because when I told him I wasn't going to college, he said, you're absolutely going to college, so figure it out. My wife now, but then girlfriend, she told me that I might as well just come to college with her.
Okay.
If I didn't have any plans, then I might as well just come with her.
That part I remember.
Right. After looking through the courses that they offered, I seen they offered ag business. No, first I went to biology because I did like plants. I mean,
Right.
the fish and all of that. So I wanted to tie all of that in.
Right.
After some professors and some advisors took interest in me and actually wanted to make sure that my path, like I reached my path as directly as possible.
Yeah.
They told me about this program, the ag business program. They just kind of held my hand all the way through it. And so that's how I wound up here in the ag business program. And now I've done 2 years internship at one place and interning at other places. So I just do a lot now.
You had a lot of help along the way from employers, teachers, administrators that kind of took to you and your personality. What do you think about how those people took to your personality and went out of their way to help you when sometimes, just along the way, but at other times when you really, really needed it because you had came up against a hurdle or an obstacle? And how does that mesh with, like, I know a lot of people question how you and your siblings were raised because you didn't go to a traditional public school. You didn't have a traditional upbringing. People wondered about your socialization skills, not you specifically, but you and your siblings, whether or not you would have the needed social skills that would be required to go to college, to go to higher education, to get out in the world and do what you need to do. Like, what do you think about that?
I feel like as far as, the people that gravitated towards me and helped me out, held my hand along the way so far in my college career, I believe that it was a sense of them being it all. First of all, the first thing that I believe hooked people was the fact that I'm from Chicago, but moved to the country at some point, and at this point I'm interested in agriculture. First of all, that's like 1 in a million. So I'm 6'4", and they were like, "Oh, so do you play any sports?" No. Have you ever played any sports? No. So yeah, I feel like another big deciding factor when a lot of people, when they clung to me, was their preconceived notions of me, just from my physical appearance, the way I look, or the way they would expect me to act when I tell them, "Oh, I'm from Chicago."
Right.
Versus the things I took interest in, conversations I held with people, and everything. So.
Let me ask you this, so those things I think were definitely part of it, just from the perspective of me being a parent and looking back on it as well. But what was it like dealing with your peers once you transitioned from not just being homeschooled, but even entering the workforce? Because you entered the workforce before you went to school, so you got to deal with your peers and like see what it was like to deal with people who were not raised like you, and then in college the same thing.
First of all, it was funny. Like, for example, when I first met my wife, and I would tell her I was homeschooled, she would joke. And a lot of people said the same joke. They would be like, "So what is like English in the living room and math in the kitchen?"
Right. I heard that joke a lot too. Yeah.
But it was.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so a lot of people already assume that homeschool kids are weird.
Yeah.
Which I could understand. A lot of homeschool children don't have, the social skills as other children in a public school system.
Yeah.
And I will say, to an extent, I had to learn a lot of those social skills.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I knew how to talk to people. I was already socially outgoing,
Right.
so it wasn't hard. But aside from social skills, when it just comes to like the education background and things like that,
Yeah.
homeschool children. I can't speak for all homeschool children, but I know for like me and my siblings, like the homeschool curriculum exceeds the public school curriculum.
Yeah.
By light years.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Like some of the things that we had to do in homeschool or some of our curriculum, the things that were expected of us from these different ages.
Yeah.
When I got to college, the college curriculum was easy.
Well, that's good.
Like a lot of the things, except for maths and stuff like that. I'm still struggling with that, but it made the college curriculum.
You're not struggling with basic math. Though.
No, it's not basic math. It's like
accounting
and agriculture, finance,
that's acceptable.
Things like that. Yeah. So, but it made the college curriculum look like light work by the time I got there, because remembering what I had done in high school and just the whole time being brought up in homeschool. Yeah. And my other peers, a lot of them, they're like, oh, the workload is too much, or what they're asking is too much, or it's hard to understand certain concepts and things. But so I don't know. It just has always been a thing as long as I've been in the public school system. Like, they homeschool children have a lot better tailored education. Yeah,
tailored to the specific individual. I can see that. So you feel like you were fairly well prepared? That's good.
I feel like fairly well is a understatement. And then on top of that, like, with us being Hebrews, our education in high school or in the homeschool system included a Bible study class.
Absolutely.
And just with our, cultural background, to add to that, it put us so far ahead as far as a spiritual understanding than other students, just being able to recognize when certain things are happening to us. Like we were talking yesterday, when certain things are happening to us, like, okay, this is a spiritual attack.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Okay, this is a punishment from the Most High.
Right.
Or just having, I'll say even to this day, I have no peers, regardless of how book smart they are, in the public school system or street smart or whatever the case is. I have no peers that I can just sit and have a scriptural conversation.
It's hard, and I'm 45 years old. I'm being open about my age. It's hard for me even at my age. And the thing is, a lot of people say they believe in the Bible, but don't read the Bible. A lot of people say they read the Bible, but only read portions of the Bible. And then you have those that have read the Bible that haven't transitioned to actually studying the Bible and matching, biblical history with world history, geography, cultural nuances, idioms, ideology, all of that. So it's difficult, but when you find someone that you can have those conversations with, it's good.
Right.
It's good.
The closest I had was a guy that he was into a lot of ancient mystic teachings, some Catholicism, and a bunch of other things.
Yeah.
We didn't have too much conversation about the Bible.
Okay.
Because in all his great knowledge, he didn't know about the Bible.
It wasn't the foundation of his understanding.
No, it wasn't. But we did have a lot of good debates.
Yeah.
That was the closest it's ever been so far.
I got you.
Yeah.
I got you. So, would you say that being grounded in a scriptural foundation and a spiritual walk caused you, as you were navigating in the workspace and in the college space, to view things differently and choose or make different choices from those that were of your same age? And I'm asking that in the thought process of, like, when you see people. I remember when you first started college, I kept pointing out, pay attention to how many people start in your class with you. And as you transition from year 1 to year 2 to year 3, pay attention to how many people fall off, and don't stay focused, and think about what causes them not to continue on that journey.
Oh yeah.
You know, and how many of those things are spiritually related, or can be,
right?
If you really understand what's going on.
Most definitely. I've seen it, pretty much seen it all.
Yeah.
In our college, just in our college. Now, when it comes to my specific class, no. Like the people that I've started with are the exact same people in my classroom today.
Because who's choosing agricultural business?
But people that already have farms.
Right.
You know, they already have farms passed down to them. They're currently farming, leave class,
They're
middle of the
being
class.
trained to take over family farms.
Exactly.
Beautiful.
Beautiful.
That's a beautiful conversation. That's another conversation.
Yeah. And so, but it's just in my peers, like people in my same grade.
Yeah.
You know, oh man, there's been so many people that started it, and you can tell from the beginning when you talk to people like, man, what's your major?
Yeah.
What made you choose that major? You know, just asking those questions, people, you pretty much get the gist of people that came to college for the college experience.
Right.
I'm not saying I didn't get the college experience.
What's the college experience? If you could break that down real quick.
Good parties.
Yeah.
Being drunk.
Good girls.
Good girls.
Yeah.
Hanging out, like just hanging out 24/7, no parents, no rules.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Whatever you want to do, if you want to be out till the sun comes out,
Right.
do that.
Wow.
You know?
Wild parties and the like.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But I feel like what separated a lot of us from, like, with my understanding, not saying I didn't make some mistakes, mess up, you know, was just like keeping the laws as far as like our Sabbath laws.
Right.
Because all of those things happen on Friday nights.
Yeah.
Saturday during the days are the craziest parties.
See, that's a coincidence?
Nah.
I don't either.
I'm never at those. Never. You won't.
That's
never
always
see me
been
at
a
those.
confirmation to me about a Sabbath.
Yeah.
You know, when the Most High is telling you be still and give him time, it's time when the adversary wants you to turn up.
When all the craziest things happen. Like just recently we had we had Boosie come to our school.
Okay.
And do a concert. And then that same night, it was a Friday night, we had a party, and the party got shut down early. Like everybody paid all his money to go out there. Like it was a big thing.
Yeah.
People from all over Louisiana came for it. It was a big thing, but it got shut down early. No refunds or anything because people were getting drunk and passing out drunk at the party. So after doing a little bit more digging or just talking to a few more people that were there, turns out it was minors. They were passing out drunk. Like the one girl the girl that topped it all off was 14 years old.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, look, man, I'm not going to hold up too much of your time. I appreciate you taking some time out of your day to talk to me and talk to the people. I know you got a busy schedule. Anything else you want to add to this before we wrap it up?
No, not too much that I don't feel like we'll cover in the episodes to come. Yeah. You know, we'll go over a whole lot of things. Just choosing life over death.
Choosing life, absolutely.
Yeah, choose life over death.
So this is just kind of an introduction to the people who are going to be doing this with me. We're going to do an introduction for the rest of the team as well. Man, stay locked in, y'all. If you like these type of conversations and where this is going, give us a like, give us a thumbs up, subscribe, and check out the Israelite Supreme YouTube channel. And this podcast is called Life Over Death Culture.
Life Over Death Culture.
Yep. I'm here with Menelik Dwaid. Thank you, my brother.
Yes, sir.
I'm Shlomo. We will see y'all next time.
See you.
Shalom.
Shalom.